Hi, welcome back. I am going to talk about something that happened to me today, and it's something that happens to all of us all of the time, and our amazing minds just decide to take over and tell us every reason why we shouldn't do something. And this morning I was laying in bed. I'm like, I've got a free day. I have a counseling session and I have all day. I can create and I can express and use my voice and speak out. And it's funny because that's what I've been getting in this last little while. And I've definitely been putting the creative stuff on the back burner, and I'm always creating in my mind and on paper and getting these great ideas, but then actually putting it out is the next step. And I was noticing I was having a bit of a disconnect from action. And I was like, today was enough. I'm laying in bed, I'm like frustrated with myself. And I'm like, why haven't I done the thing? And I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about doing the thing and how fear, not good enough, not pretty enough, not in good enough shape or ready to do the thing is keeping us from the damn thing. So I had my session with my counselor and it was freaking badass, and I'm going to talk about it. First, I'm going to read a little bit off of some of the notes that I took, and then I want to dive deep on this topic because I feel it's going to help you move from being stuck and cycling in the same circle jerk into the new beginning. It's like, how do we get from here to feeling all the in between, but then to get there? It's like jump, take the leap of faith, but it's like we know that we need to do this, but why aren't we doing it? So where is the disconnect from A to C? We got to deal with B. That's that in between stuff. The self-sabotage, the what are people going to think? People are going to judge me. What if I don't know all of the information? It's like the story that we create is like that little child from when we were 5 or 6 years old, keeping us safe, keeping us small, concerned about what our parents might think, concerned about what our friends are going to think. We're so concerned of everybody else that we're not living in our own integrity or in alignment with what we came here to do or what we really want to do and reach our goals or just live a peaceful daily life. Little tasks, just accomplishing, taking your vitamins. Maybe you're going to start taking celery juice, or maybe it's to get to the damn gym, or maybe it's to have some more boundaries and say no to people. All of these things get created under this umbrella of worthiness. Am I good enough? How do I do it? Staying stuck and stagnant in our own BS, staying in the relationships, still hanging out with people that maybe aren't for our highest and best good. Maybe we're still drinking or eating the shitty foods that we know aren't good for us. And with the shitty foods, I just want to say, it's your money and it's your hand that is doing it. It's you. It's all you. And then we come back to this place of, why is this happening to me? And why am I still here? So I want to bring some light onto this topic, but give a little bit of tools and assistance because I'm in the same shit. And there's days and there's times where I'm just like, why haven't I done it? Like, I am the only person that is holding myself back. And that is the same as you. And we are all part of the same thing. So how do we move from A to C, feeling B, and getting through B to get to C? So a little bit of the read is breaking free, overcoming feeling stuck. I'm not going to say that beginning part because I've already done the introduction. So I have to just say, I never script anything. It's just always from my heart and my mind. And sure, I'll write things down or get inspiration. And what I've been trying to do to change and get outside of the box and be a little bit different is to create a little bit more notes or direction to keep you on track. So is kind of funny for me because I'm not used to reading from my own shit, if that makes any sense. So, okay. You know the sense of being frozen in place, unable to move forward, whether it's in our own personal lives or our careers. Sometimes it feels like we're trapped and the only way out is elusive. But here's the thing, feeling stuck is often a creation of our own making. It's our beliefs and stories that we keep cycling in our minds, which mirrors the reality we find ourselves in. I'm going to stop there because this is the number one thing. Our deep-rooted and deep-seated belief system is going to keep playing out. It's going to use other people, places, situations to recreate a perfect scenario, whether that be a trigger or that could be something that maybe is really challenging for us to face, and it's going to keep happening. Maybe it's judgment. Maybe it's self-judgment of thinking other people are judging you. So you're going to keep creating this reality as long as we're here in this lifetime for these themes for us to evolve, until we actually do something about it, take action, and overcome it. And that's that cycle, staying in the same cycle over and over, trying to get out. Let's talk about our inspiration. Are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling frozen? That uncomfortable feeling of being unable to take action towards your goals. It's a space between you and what you want to achieve that's holding you back. But why wait or hold back? What do you have to lose? The truth is, it's the feeling and the fears that keep us stagnant. It's like locking yourself in a cage with the door wide open. And I will tell you guys, I have done that time and time again. And I still work through it at times where I'm like, okay, I want to do this. I want to do these videos for you guys. I want to talk about this stuff. And I want to do it in a way that's authentic and it's not coachy and like I'm telling you what to do. I'm authentically talking to you like you're me. It's a mirror to me with my own stuff. It's like, I live it. I'm here for it. And I am done. Enough is enough. I'm like, start before you're ready. Do it anyways. And baby steps, which will lead to really big steps. Getting uncomfortable is the only way to move forward, and it's to face those feelings. And the biggest thing that I've learned, and I've done so much freaking counseling. I was talking to Lisa today, and in July 27th, and that was, let me go back and look, July 27th, 2012 is when I started with her, and I have continued on the journey. And what I've learned along the way is feeling feelings and not believing our thoughts, because the thoughts that we're thinking that just keep ruminating and it just goes in a circle, and then we touch feelings. Like, how is it in one moment we can wake up and we can have a thought, and that thought and that old past experience is coming up and we're reliving it like a horror movie, and that's completely changed our state, and now we're feeling low, or we're feeling sad, or we're back in grief, or we could be missing a loved one, and we're right back into the hole. So how do we get out of that hole? And it's these little simple steps that are going to help you. It's like feeling the feeling first and foremost, feeling that trigger. And I'm going to talk about a couple of triggers that just recently happened that's going to lead by example. And I like examples because when people talk to me and they're explaining their theories and all of these teachings, I want to know, like, what did you go through that helped you move past your own shit? And guess what, you guys? Look at what just happened. My microphone has been over there, and I was deep into it. So I'm just gonna I'm just going to run with it and hope that you were able to hear me in the first 10 minutes. So anyways, back to it. Triggers, feelings. That's it. That is all we're dealing with. I'm going to zoom out for a moment. Let's go to the spiritual side for a second. I don't care who you are. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. Think of all the planets out there, the stars, all the things. Okay? We're floating in the universe. It is vast. It is huge. Don't tell me that we're it and that's all that there is. There is so much else that's out there. So we come here, drop into these beautiful vessels and these bodies. And every lifetime, it's a different one. Every lifetime, one could be male, one could be female, one could be Chinese, could be white, can be Danish, can speak another language. You could be many places in the world. One lifetime, you could be extremely hungry. The next lifetime, you could have so much abundance and so much food that you overindulge because you want to experience what does that feel like to want to eat and just continue to eat and have my body be large. And then the next lifetime, you come in and you're like, I overindulged and the foods and the things that were that I was able to reach and that I was able to eat. The word that I'm trying to look for right now is overindulged. No, doesn't matter. So then the next lifetime, you're like, well, I'm going to see what it's like to grow up in a poor household that doesn't have any food, that doesn't have the means to just turn on my running water. And maybe because the lifetime before, you took it for granted and you weren't appreciative or grateful for what you really had. So back to this game of life. This is a place where we come to learn themes, experience. What does it feel like to have love? What does it feel like to give birth? What does it feel like to have my heart broken? What does it feel like to have the love of my life die? What does it feel like to be in a wheelchair? What does it feel like to not be able to see or maybe to hear? So all of these things that we come in to experience can be a multitude of things. And so when we come here and we're experiencing it, and while we're in it, we can get so bogged down into the emotions, into the why me, the poor me, the stuck, the stagnant, not good enough. And I'm always like, zoom out. Zoom out from yourself. Zoom out from other people's business. Zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Why are you here? What did you come here to learn? What did you come here to do? Are you acting of service? Are you helping others? Are you hurting others? Figure out your why. Figure out what makes you, you. And, when we're kids and we're creators and we're dancing or we're singing or we're painting, whatever that may be, slowly gets shut down. We get conditioned. We get conditioned to people please. We get conditioned to need to win. We get conditioned that we're less than another, or maybe somebody can read better than us. Maybe somebody can speak better than us. Maybe somebody uses really high vocabulary. Maybe somebody is an incredible athlete. And what we're doing to kids and what happened to us is we were slowly bogged down and told we weren't good enough or we needed to compare ourselves. And another area that I love talking about is sexuality and learning about ourselves and how we suppressed ourselves and how we were conditioned that it was one way. It was like, you grow up, you have a husband, you have a wife, you have babies, and that's it, one and done. But then what happens to everybody else that experiences different things? What happens to people that experimented as a child and were told, that something was wrong with them and that's not the way. And then all of a sudden people are talking about, well, what if you find the same sex attractive? Well, then that's it. That must mean that you're gay. Well, what if it isn't? What if you're allowed to be attracted to other people? Or what if you're allowed to look at the same sex and think, oh, they're beautiful, or oh, they're so handsome? And think about men. Think about that heavy pressure that they have, that what if they were a young child and they grew up and they looked at another man or a kid or a boy or felt safe around them and had some sort of feeling of love. And so fast, we're so quick to judge or tell somebody, well, what that means. And I just love to come in and break it all and look at things from a different perspective and to zoom out. So I think about it, and when it comes to like sexuality and labels and telling people that, well, this means this or this means that, or you're bisexual, lesbian, you're gay, you're homophobic, you're this, you're all these things. You're labeled as all these things. So what I want to do, I've totally gone on a tangent, but this is perfect. This is where I wanted to go. Zoom back out for a moment, follow me, and just stay with me. This can be very triggering for some people. This was very triggering to me when I was young because I didn't understand, and my mind wasn't able to comprehend what I'm about to share at that young age. And unfortunately, I didn't have anybody at that time to shine a little bit of a different light on this topic. So if we zoom out and we just say, for shits and giggles, that before I came here, I'm an energetic being, spirit, whatever you want to call it, and I zoom out and then I pick my parents and I pick a perfect situation where I'm going to come in and I'm going to experience a whole shit ton of things that are going to they're going to disrupt me, they're going to hurt me, I'm going to find miracles in it, I'm going to find all the things. So we zoom out, and as souls, I'm like, hey, Dad, he's a soul at the time. I'm like, I'm going to come in and I want to learn this. So will you teach me the opposite of that? And then I'm going to say, hey, Mom, another soulmate, can you come in and be my mom? And you're going to have this trait. And let's just say her themes, everything that she has and my dad have are already planned out. So I come in with these themes and I'm like, I would like to experience this. So then spirit, a team, higher ups, consciousness is like, okay, I've got the perfect people for this situation. Perfect scenario. So this lifetime, I was like, I want to come down and experience shame, not loving myself, not good enough, perfectionism, whatever, all these things. I'd like to learn these themes. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to need a vessel. So in this lifetime, I'm going to pick a female vessel. I'm going to be a woman. So I get to experience all the things that come with that package. Sign me up. Jump in. It's my time. It's my birth date. I jump into a body and I don't remember anything. I do not remember that I was planning this. I don't remember that I had themes and that I was going to overcome these difficulties and all the things along the way. So as time progresses, I go through the things. I have experiences. I go through depression. I go through anxiety. I go through abuse, you name it, all the things, the worst of the worst. And there are souls that are so brave that come in to experience catastrophic events that we can't even fathom, to even think like, oh my gosh, somebody could actually go through that. So you come in and you choose your vessel. So as I came in, I'm this female and I'm going to experience these things. So now going back to sex, sexuality, loving ourselves, feeling no shame in ourselves, in our essence. So basically, we're here, and let's say in my last life, I've been a man multiple times. So I remember subconsciously all the things of being a man. So I'm in this vessel and I'm a woman, but I'm like, I am not feeling like a woman at all. My energy is more masculine, which you both know. We've got masculine and feminine energy inside of ourselves. And we are feeling super masculine. And we're not resonating with this shell. So how do we then navigate this lifetime with a different shell than how we're feeling? All coming back to self-rejection, not good enough, not loving ourselves. So maybe in this lifetime, that is one of your themes or things to work through, is self-acceptance, acceptance of what is. And yes, we are in a time where we can change our bodies. We can put things in our face, in our lips, in our boobs. We can change the shell. That's fair. You can do that 100%. But what I really want to try to help others with this stuck, with this shame, with the guilt, not good enough, not pretty enough, not handsome enough, not masculine enough, thinking there's something wrong with you, is to remember you're a spiritual being and this shell is just here for a blip in time, and you're just utilizing it to operate it, to act out a character. It's a theme. It's a, you can call it a game or a movie. You're an actor or an actress. So does everything need to mean so much? Do you have to put so much energy into your appearance, into your body, into whether you feel like a man or a woman? Or could you maybe accept in this lifetime that this is the shell that you have, and to work through the fears and the shame and the not good enough or not feeling connected to your vessel? Because I believe when we get connected to our vessel and we get connected to ourselves and we work through those fucking limiting beliefs that we grew up in, I believe we're perfect souls when we come in. We have so many different themes to work through, but the people, the places, and the things start telling us who and what we're supposed to be. Fairy tale books, Disney, Beauty and the Beast, all of these things. When we're kids, we're pure, we're innocent. Think about a child. Does a child care what color skin you have? Does a child care whether you're fat or you're skinny? Does a child care whether you're a boy or a girl? It's slowly ingrained and conditioned. So pink, blue, you hug this person, you don't hug this person. You're a girl. Girls scream, girls cry, boys don't. Go back, zoom back to the days, to the beginning. And then this comes to my next zoom out, download, whatever you want to call it. The shame and the shadow that I had to live with and chose to live with because I kept everything so secretive and so inside, because to me, I thought if I wasn't this way or if I wasn't this way, what am I? I have to fit one of them. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just so different than what the norm would be. And then I thought about it and I was like, maybe we're all like this. And the more that I've worked through a lot of this shadow stuff and sat with it and questioned myself, questioned things deeper, and started to look and unravel, I was like, oh my God, we're all the same. Like, hear me out for a minute. if a man were to have a dream that is out of their control, that they had a dream and they were with another man, what do you think they would wake up like if they were told that if they had feelings or a thought or a dream of being with a man, they're going to think that they're gay. They're going to think that, oh my God, something's wrong with me. Or maybe I like men. And they're going to go down this shame comparison rabbit hole. Or maybe not. Some people are evolved to the point where they are very comfortable in their skin and with who they are. But so many people that I talk to, because I talk about this with my friends and I talk about this with clients, and I get to the bottom of it and I'm like, oh my God, we're all the same with this topic. So I had even talked about this with my dad. I said, if you were laying on a massage table and you were blindfolded and you were getting a massage and you had no idea who was massaging you, and it was a man, but it felt nice, it was amazing, you were totally relaxed and feeling so good, and you had a tingle, what I call a tingle, or turned on or felt nice, and then all of a sudden you realize it wasn't a woman, it was a man, congratulations, you are human. All of y'all that are listening right now and that are watching this, who have had a dream that has been the same sex, or has thought the same sex is good looking, or has had a tingle or been turned on, congratulations. You are human and you are perfect exactly as you are. And so many people then take this whole entire topic and they shove it in and they suppress it. And guess what they do? They make their appearance more feminine. They make themselves more masculine. Their voice has to be deep. They're going to work out, have muscles. And I'm not saying this is for everybody, but it is for fucking 95% of people. We are all the same. And I'm here to lift the secret that nobody's different and that there isn't one and done, and it's okay if you felt attracted to the same sex. And also, this is the other cool thing. Let's just say this other soul that you may be attracted to or had a tingle or had a dream about, in your past life, they could have been your husband or wife. And maybe in this lifetime, you have a contract with them to overcome this very thing that I'm talking about. And the thing that I like to say is what you perceive to be your shadow holds a hidden gift. And part of this topic for me is the hidden gift, because I kept all these things so deeply suppressed in shadow and in fear of what? Being stuck. Here's over here freedom. Here's the fears. How do we get from here to here? We have to experience. We have to go through. Call out our shit. Talk about it with people. The more you talk about it, the more you're going to realize everybody's the same. And for women, it's so much easier because rap songs, men are like, talk about women being with women and it's acceptable and threesomes and this and that. And then there's people that are completely shut off that are like, I would never do that. That's disgusting. I would never experience it. And I will say, coming from my own self, I was that person. I was like, that's disgusting. Oh my gosh, like, how could anybody do that? I was the one who was so, jealous, insecure. It's because I was protecting myself, from nothing. So why I want to talk about this is in hopes to help you through some of this that can lead to a lot of people exiting. A lot of people that have so much shame that they don't even want to live anymore, where they can't even face themselves because they think that there's something wrong with them and that they're supposed to be this way. You can label it. You can absolutely, if you're into women and that's your one and done, that's fine. If you're into men, that's your one and done, that's fine. This isn't what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is letting go of any shame that you have deep-rooted. And the deep-rooted shame could very well be this that can unlock you to your freedom. And to know that you're human and to be turned on is normal. And you know what? On the spiritual side, I'm going to go a little deeper. Your sexual energy, your creative energy, your sacral chakra is directly linked to your creative energy. And because we've been conditioned, I want to debunk all conditioning. Why does being turned on or sex need to lead to having an orgasm or having a sexual encounter? It can very well lead to creative energy and expression. And you can use that feeling, yet again, everything is a feeling in our body. We have been conditioned to be turned on, and that's turned on, primal. You need to do something with it. You got to go release. I'm inviting you to open it up and then use it. Use that energy to create something like this, create a painting, create a podcast, talk about it with friends. Use that energy to go work out. Even with athletes, they say that energy, that life force energy, or going and having sex, they harness it because they think that it's giving them their legs, it's giving them their mojo, their oomph. And you know what? There's truth in that too. So you don't have to think of sex, sacral chakra, being turned on as being a fearful thing or a shameful thing. Things have happened to people as kids. Very unfortunate situations have happened where people have stepped in or there's been abuse, and that's not okay. And yes, even though they've chosen to experience these certain themes to overcome in this lifetime, you don't have to condone it. You don't have to thank the person. It's not to do that, but it's about overcoming yourself, overcoming the shame, the guilt, and the trauma, and any secrets. We all have these secrets that we just suppress, and then they become so shameful and they get stuck in our body, and then dis-ease happens. And then we create these environments that will keep cycling for us to be stuck. I'm like, I don't want to be stuck anymore. I want to talk about this stuff and helping myself to get out of the cycle. So the thing that you're stuck on has a lot to do with the secrets that you're keeping inside, or that shame or that guilt. And I want you to debunk everything that you were taught. If it's one and done and you're supposed to be this or you're supposed to be that and you're not, well, I want to say congratulations. You're human. You're meant to be unique. You're meant to have your own soul, song, and expression. You're not to fit into one and done. And you know what? Maybe in your lifetime you've experienced men or experienced women, and then maybe you're like, oh, like I'm actually attracted to the opposite sex. Like, why does anything have to be one and done? And why does it always have to be a sexual experience? Why can't it just be from love and connection? So if we zoom out from the shell and the external is the judgment. You're judging yourself and that other person by their external, whether they're a man or a woman. But inside, their soul expression might be more masculine. It might be more feminine in this lifetime. So ultimately, what you're attracted to is the soul. It is nothing else. It is the soul. It is the contract. And there's another thing that people come in, maybe they're in a religious household, and maybe in that household, they only want their son or their daughter to be with another man or another woman and to have kids, and that to them there's so much shame locked into their entire family tree of conformity and suppression, where they haven't been able to express themselves as they may have wanted to, sexually, emotionally, just even expressing, that a soul comes in to break that cycle and to remove the shame and to move into acceptance. Ultimately, all we're here to do is to accept. Accept what is, accept who you are, accept your soul expression. You're unique, and that's beautiful. And to let go of the shame. And if you've had a dream or have been attracted to the same person, same sex, congratulations, yet again. You're human, you're normal. It is a beautiful thing to have love for others. It is so beautiful and so safe for you to be who you are, unapologetically. And I want to come to a few of those triggers. So I was sent a beautiful reel, and it triggered an old memory from my brother. And as I've been on the spiritual journey and evolving and talking about all these things, it was a few years back, and he said something along the lines of, "Can't you just go back to the way you were before?" And I was like, no. I'm like, we've changed. We all change. We change every day. A piece of us, when we go to bed, cells die and then they renew. Every day, we can never go back to who we once were. Every day is shaping us into who we need to be and who we came here to be. And so things have happened and we aren't in each other's lives at this time. And I never say forever, or it's never, one and done. There's always opportunities for healing and growth and acceptance and love. But this reel brought me back to this not good enough and acceptance of who I am today. And the reel was talking about there was a little bit of a mix of spirituality, religion, being this or that. And I was like, this is so good for me right now, because it triggered the feeling of judgment and of somebody not accepting me for who I am. And so I had to sit with it, and I journaled and I went deep, and I was like, what is that? And I was like, holy crap. I'm like, this is triggering that wanting external approval and wanting people to just fucking love me for who I am. Spiritual, not spiritual, religious, not religious, whether you're open to having multiple experiences in this lifetime, whether you want to have an experience that's very much just being with one person for the rest of your life and experiencing a very beautiful, simple life. What my message and what I wanted to share today is being stuck, getting unstuck, and unstuck with yourself to not be able to see other people. And so whether that is because I'm spiritual or do things differently, or maybe you're in this lifetime on a religious path, or maybe you don't believe that there's life after here, whatever that is, my message and my expression is we're all the same. We're not any different. We're all doing the best we can with what we have. And so if we can all operate from love and acceptance, we wouldn't be judging or trying to change, control, or fix another. I don't want to change you and who you are. I just hope that what I'm sharing and talking about can help you zoom out to see things, people, and places from a compassionate lens. Zoom the fuck out and realize we're all so similar. And there's not much of a difference. The only difference is the space in between, the A to C, the feelings, the emotions, and the fears that maybe you're holding on to that's blocking you from your joy. And that joy could be to see another as they are and accept them exactly as they are. But ultimately, when you reach A to C, it's to see who you are and where you aren't accepting yourself. My belief is where you're pushing others away is the very place that you haven't gone and accepted yourself. And maybe when I speak about same sex, or maybe about changing your body, maybe it's triggering you. And maybe it's a place that you aren't even able to go to accept within yourself. And this is an invitation to accept all of you, because there's a version of ourselves out there in all of us, whether it's your worst enemy or it's your greatest fear. There's something that you need to heal within that person, within yourself. And as you do that, you can then see others from a place of compassion and non-judgment. We're here to remember that. We're here to wake up to the power of who we are individually and to not be the same. That would be so boring if we were all the same. And to have multiple belief systems, multiple religions, multiple governments, multiple countries is all what makes us move. It's duality, it's contrast. We're not meant to be the same. I honor you for who you are and how you're showing up today. And I hope that you can also extend that to somebody else that maybe you're having a really hard time accepting. And look at them from a place of compassion and how much pain and shame that they had to endure to get to this side. And I want to share one quick thing that just lands so close to my heart. It's a book called Loving What Is. It's Byron Katie. And we have 3 businesses: your business, my business, and God's business. And I just want to read this little part. It is so badass. I can only find 3 kinds of business in the universe: mine, yours, and God's. For me, the word God means reality. Reality is God because it rules. Anything that's out of my control, your control, and everyone else's control, I call that God's business. Much of our stress comes from mentally living out of our own business. When I think, you need to get a job. I want you to be happy. You should be on time. You need to take better care of yourself. I am in your business. When I'm worried about earthquakes, floods, war, or when I will die, I'm in God's business. If I am mentally in your business or in God's business, the effect is separation. I noticed this early in 1986 when I mentally went into my mother's business, for example, with a thought like, my mother should understand me. I immediately experienced a feeling of loneliness, and I realized that every time in my life that I had felt hurt or lonely, I had been in someone else's business. If you are living your life and I am mentally living your life, who is here living mine? We're both over there. Being mentally in your business keeps me from being present in my own. I am separate from myself, wondering why my life doesn't work. To think that I know what's best for anyone else is to be out of my business. Even in the name of love, it is pure arrogance, and the result is tension, anxiety, and fear. Do I know what's right for me? That is my only business. Let me work with that before I try to solve your problems for you. If you understand the 3 kinds of business enough to stay in your own business, it could free your life in a way that you can't even imagine. The next time you're feeling stress or discomfort, ask yourself whose business you're in mentally, and you may burst out laughing. The question can bring you back to yourself, and you may come to see that you've never really been present, and that you've been mentally living in other people's business all your life. Just to notice that you're in someone else's business can bring you back to your own wonderful self. And if you practice it for a while, you may come to see that you don't have any business either, and that your life runs perfectly well on its own. I absolutely love that. It has been a game changer for me, because why do we think that we need to dictate, shame, judge, control another person's lives? All we need to worry about is ourselves. I totally went off on a little bit of a tangent. This is a topic that I'm going to talk about more. If you are struggling with self-acceptance, questioning all these things in your mind from childhood, shame, maybe you've had experiences. Do you know how many men, little boys, and women, and little girls that have experienced so much shame or abuse or sexual abuse that has shaped their lives to this day? They are still not free. They are in so much guilt and shame, locked in, that they can't live their full expression and can't just be free. I want you to be free, and it is totally your choice. But I am here to extend my own story and my own systems and beliefs to you to help you love and accept yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to this episode. So much love.